So the entire week of shows here on the Le Batard Show was kind of getting excited over the prospect of potentially seeing the Heat and the Knicks continue their rivalry in the NBA playoffs. And now that it's a reality, we devoted basically an entire hour to it. And we continue now because Taylor from our video team, Taylor is a Knicks fan, even though he went to a Heat game with Pablo and Samson and Juju. None of you guys are actually Heat fans, but you're all
dislike them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the most part,
actually.
I think everybody there.
It was fun to watch us cheer, actually, when good things were happening, when Butler was scoring 56. I was cheering for the moment, not for the team.
David Sampson was letting himself enjoy the present for once. It was kind of magical. It was like being at a cult meeting.
I also thought people were looking at us, and so I didn't want to be the one sitting down when everyone was standing up.
But Taylor is a huge Knicks fan, and Taylor's been doing this thing with me where he pulls me aside and he tries to play me a song that he's made, and they're never good. And sometimes he's young, and sometimes I don't even really get the source material all that much, but I think he finally... It's about song choice, like American Idol. I think he finally landed on a good song choice, though the performance was a bit pitchy dog. And he made a song about Jalen Brunson because Jalen Brunson, as David has told us several times, is the greatest New York Knick ever. And I think there's only one real way to hype up Knicks Heat, and it might be courtesy of Taylor's song.
It's a 3. The crowd goes into a delusion. Winning in the playoffs, not an illusion. It's a heat check, he's on fire. But let it fly. Saw the contract, they said he was overpaid, man. Said that he was overrated and that we had no plan. They were wrong and I am beaming. Hear the Mecca say, carry us Jalen Brunson. Comes up clutch, that's why we won. New York knows you are the best. Not the joke no more.
That was awful.
When he played me that, also, sidebarred me and was like, check this out. I thought he was going to get another voice to sing it, and that was just the temp track.
What are you talking about? That was great.
Did he choose you because he thought that you could forward it to someone because of your musical background?
No, he chose me because I'm largely the gatekeeper of these things, and sometimes bad is good. And I think that was one of those times that bad is good. But sometimes bad can be bad, and that can also, be reveled in somewhat.
I regret the choice of the fourth ticket right now. I can't believe it.
I want to hear the rest of the song. Where is it?
That was the first stanza.
Yeah. No.
That was the first. Wow.
You know what I appreciate about Jalen Brunson the most is, as someone that's vain and also very hairy, he doesn't give a about people seeing his upper arm hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got shoulder hair for days. I mean, we're talking about Andre Drummond type shoulder hair. He doesn't care. He leans into it. In fact, this may be a new thing in New York. People will just embrace their shoulder hair because of the joy Jalen Brunson has given them.
Is that something that any other human being has noticed?
You haven't noticed his shoulder hair?
No.
What?
I don't look at his shoulders and look at his shoulder hair.
During that song, what were you focused on then? The voice? The lyrics?
I was totally,
looking at
let's run it
pictures.
back and look at his shoulders the entire time.
There's a part of that song where that's all you should be noticing, is the fact that he doesn't wax or laser.
I was looking at his face.
Yeah, we're gonna mute it because we can only play that song once, not for royalties or anything like that, but just because to protect ourselves from his voice. But we'll run back some of the images from this, and all I saw was shoulder hair. All I see.
Do you wax or laser anything?
I use a razor once a week.
Oh, that's not a wax or a laser.
Yeah,
I'm a wax laser guy.
You are?
Yeah.
Because you have it too.
Well, not anymore.
I'm a centaur. I only got hair in the lower body.
There's some people that don't care. Our good friend Tom Haberstroh. Throws caution to the wind. This is who I am. Love me for me.
Do you notice when there's hair in your ears?
Yes.
And
I
you
don't
take
like
care of it.
I do. I take care of it.
There are people who don't.
No, I'm on top of it.
I don't know how Jack McKeon could hear he had so much hair in his ears. And we would tell him, please, do something. Huh? My dad used to have it. Take a look at Brunson. It's very noticeable.
Let's throw up some of the video again.
And
I'm
sort of
gonna mute
uncomfortable.
the audio and just see, like, look, there's a fair amount of shoulder hair going on over there in this video.
I mean, not really.
No, there's sometimes that you could tell he gotten around to it. I mean, it's not.
I love that.
Full length.
Oh, there it is.
That's sometimes he also got sunburn and was peeling on the shoulders a little bit. But
There
Such
it
right
a
is.
there.
weird-
There it is.
There's
Get rid of the
shoulder hair.
lyrics.
You can't tell.
I can't
YouTube.com/LeBatard.
see.
Strange.
What?
This is a strange take. I
Such a fixation.
I
No, I
don't
see it
see
now.
this when I
don't
look
I
at
see it
Jalen
either.
Brunson.
I see it now, Mike.
You're gonna trust me. Next time you watch him play, it's all I'm locked in on.
There it is. Right
Don't
there.
you always notice someone's nails, someone's shoes, and someone's
No.
hair?
I focus
Not at
in
all.
on my own insecurities, and I'm insecure about my upper arm hair because it doesn't look good.
I focus
So-
on what people are saying and how they make me feel.
It's very nice. I've not heard that before.
I always look at shoes.
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't mean from you. I mean in general.
Wait,
Like when you
David
go for an
Sampson. David
interview.
Sampson. You walk into an interview room. You are noticing first what?
Wax or laser? He just told us.
No, that's at a pool. But when people walk in to interview with me, I'm noticing their shoes and their fingernails, whether or not they pick their cuticles. I'm noticing whether or not there's gum in their mouth, whether they floss their teeth, whether there's plaque buildup. I'm looking at these things, and I
Is
am
this a
not.
dog? Are you interviewing a dog?
No.
Are you my dog's
Do you
vet?
have any idea the type of people who I've interviewed?
Let's
Hundreds
look in
and
the
hundreds
ear
of
hole,
people.
sweetie.
No, I actually think that people of today ought to pay more attention to it because when you are being interviewed, you have 1 minute. I don't know if you're aware of this.
People,
you have
people
1
of today
minute to
sounds
get
like
the job.
kids these days.
It's not kids these days. It's if you want to be hired, you have 1 minute to convince the person interviewing you to be hired. 1 minute.
And you would not hire someone because they pick their cuticles.
1,000%.
Because picking your cuticles means what to you?
Because he's
It
a
rep-
high achiever.
It represents nervousness. It represents the fact that when I need you to make a decision, I don't want the cuticles being picked. I want the decision being made, and I want you to have conviction about it. And I associate picked cuticles with people without conviction. And I don't need you to be right every time. I need you to decide and act every time.
These are all the keen observations that led David to being the first voted off on Survivor.
Yes.
Just wanna say that.
David, do you
You-
consider
you know,
me an
la-
indecisive person?
You don't know the first thing about Survivor. All of you who are talking about it, not the first thing. And I'm happy to go through it, but it is a joke listening to you, Pablo, try to make this content like it tracks with me to be the first one off.
David Sampson is treating me the way JJ Redick treated Stephen A. yesterday. You have obviously never played high-level reality television.
I'm good. I've been here for enough hours.
So,
For the
David,
last 4
David,
minutes. Like, I'm
David,
good.
we haven't gotten your review for this week, and I would like to get your movie review because that's always a benchmark of the week. And
Miraculously, I still am watching a movie every day while doing the hours with you guys.
Because you're not sleeping, David.
It has been an issue. I'm not going to lie to you.
I love David's brain for the record here, even though his shortcuts to personal trustworthiness quality are cuticle driven. And therefore, I am always interested in what is catching your fancy.
So
With your
I
free
have a
time.
story. I have a cuticle story for you, which is that one of the nights this week I was trying to get sleep. I was hurting so badly. My head was hurting. I felt like I was getting sick. I thought that Mike may have gotten me sick, or maybe Stu, that I took an Ambien. And when I don't go to sleep immediately for the hour on Ambien, I end up picking. Because I've been a picker before, and I've had issues with picking where I've picked sore.
I wouldn't hire you.
Well, I'm not applying for a job with you. So I would pick
That's for
holes
sure.
in my. Oh, because you wouldn't hire me.
I thought.
Well, if you're picking,
come on,
if you're
man.
picking
Yeah,
your
you're
cuticles,
picking.
I
I mean, it is
think
what it
the
is.
you're not a
answer to that
decisive
question is
man.
obvious.
You're not going to make a decisive decision
Yeah,
for
not
me.
decisive.
I
I
thought
have,
he was our.
you don't
I
sleep.
thought
Voting your
David-
ass off.
I thought David was our union president.
So I have right. I want to make you help you get paid more.
yeah, you're
So-
you're on the side of labor. You always have been.
No, but you missed yesterday that I
did
want
Fox
to
in
be.
the
yesterday,
head
Mike.
now.
You
He's
wanted
in.
him.
I
What?
want to
He's
be.
in with us, yeah.
What? Us?
Yeah.
He
I
organized
am.
us.
I'm organizing
with
you
us?
into union labor, Mike.
All right.
So I used to pick terribly, like holes in my leg, and it was a thing.
I
And-
thought you were talking about the banjo at first, so.
No, I'm talking about a sickness that I had that I'm trying to get better at. And sometimes it manifests itself, and I happen to pick 9 out of 10 fingers, and I am miserable and angry about it, and I'm self-conscious about it.
So you, like Mike, are both seeing in other people the flaws that you are tortured by about yourselves.
It's every day, right? So of course I'm focused on looking at things. I don't want to hire someone who has the same issues that I potentially could have because I know what I have to do to overcome those issues to achieve what needs to be achieved.
Huh.
So why start with someone
Interesting.
already behind the 8 ball when you have a chance to start with someone who won't have to overcome those things?
So what is your review?
It's a COVID movie because I felt very constricted and I saw that The Longest Third Date had just come out. This is the story about two people who were dumb enough on a third date to go to Costa Rica. Who would ever go to Costa Rica is beyond me. But let's just pretend you go. I loved Costa Rica, but it's just funny for whatever reason. So Costa Rica, they go to Costa Rica in March of 2020, March 20th of 2020. No one on the plane. They were alone on the plane. And this guy happens to video everything. So it's a made documentary already. And they end up stuck there for over 70 days. So it was a 70-day third date. And it goes through everything because he filmed everything while it was happening. And they became celebrities because they were stuck on their third date forever. It wasn't like the movie with Miles Teller and with the other person where they were stuck in a house in a snowstorm. This is totally different. And I loved it because the thought of me being stuck with someone for 70 days where there's no escape is enough to make me not get on the plane in the first place. And these guys chose to get on the plane.
Or marriage.
It was their third date.
Do you think Dan's going to be on a zip line in Costa Rica? Like, what do you think he's going to do when he's there?
He'd have to find a helmet that fits.
David, what are you doing if you're on your third date in Costa Rica and halfway through the flight you notice that your date is picking their nails and then you're stuck with them?
I would have noticed that first date. So that's not even something I can think about.
Okay.
I would not have gotten on the plane in March of 20. That's the whole issue. But it became a great documentary, so I strongly suggest seeing it. But it was just way too risky. And they were stuck with each other, and they had no idea how to live together. And they basically grew their whole relationship.
They should have voted at least one of them off.
There was nowhere for them to go.